Morning again, and welcome back to Fuck I Need a Cocktail. I guess that we're finally at the point where we need to talk a little bit about Harvey and Houston, because Harvey is much more than Houston now. It's moving into Louisiana and expanding past the Houston area. So flooding and weather, like I was saying earlier, is a very political issue in America. One of the reasons that you don't have us patting ourselves on the back right now is because of President Bush congratulating his FEMA director during Hurricane Katrina, as if New Orleans is even done recovering from it now, because they're not, and may never will be. It changed the city forever. And I'm sure that this will also change Houston forever. Brock Long seems to be doing a good job. He was appointed by the president just 6 weeks-ish ago. A bit late in the game, but most people think that he's, pretty well equipped to handle these kind of crises. More political things about hurricanes, as you end up with guys like Ted Cruz, who voted against relief for Superstorm Sandy, and hopefully by now you've heard the lovely, recordings of Mike Pence opining against these relief efforts as well. Probably has a different opinion now. These are times in which we have to think about how we take care of each other. So the Fuck I Need a Cocktail for today is going to be more of a toast rather than a coping for the citizens who are taking care of each other in Texas. It's going to be the cocktail that we should give them to thank them out. If you're not familiar with that yet, there's a lot of private citizens just taking fishing boats to Houston to go and help with the rescue effort as best they can. And that made me think of a couple of things that are great for Texas and great for sailors, and that's Texas grapefruit. So for today's cocktail, we're going to talk a little bit about that. The grapefruit's a curious citrus in the first place. Citrus taxonomy for me is so fascinating. I will try not to bore you with it too much, but the grapefruit starts on Barbados. And on Barbados, you had sweet oranges, the kind that we normally eat, also the kind that you would maybe put in Plymouth gin, for example. That bred with pomelos. Pomelos, also known as shaddocks, or known as forbidden fruit. And if you're more on the advanced side of tending bar here, definitely look up for forbidden fruit liqueur. It's really great stuff. And they bred and they made a grapefruit. Of course, not necessarily the grapefruit that we all think of, because there are so many grapefruit varietals. That is how they began. And the ruby red grapefruit that we all know so well is something that came from Texas that is so bittersweet and delicious. It's really great. It grows year-round pretty much in Texas, perhaps best in the early spring. And I thought that a really great cocktail for that ruby red grapefruit would be just the Greyhound. What I like to do is a lowball glass. Always fill up to the rim with ice, because warm grapefruit juice is no good. So as much ice as you can. Just vodka and grapefruit. The vodka thins out the grapefruit a little bit and doesn't add anything in flavor-wise, but can kind of, be a good one for this. Top that up, and you've got a lovely cocktail in the Greyhound. If you add a little salt on the rim, and I suggest you do, it goes really well, you got a salty dog. And a salty dog, for probably just namesake reasons, is one that I always know sailors to love. From all around the world, I know that they love a salty dog. So, fuck, I need a cocktail today. Wishing the best for Houston. Do what you can to help. And when things are more stable, share a cocktail like a salty dog. See you tomorrow. Bye.